All right, we are going live, and so excited that you're joining me here today because we're going to be talking about creativity and Sabbath rest. Each week, I wanted to provide you with strategies that are going to help you live way more on purpose from your creativity, and you're going to be a lot more efficient. You'll be more strategic, you're going to have clarity, and you're going to feel a lot more confident in your approach. And I know that that can sometimes feel um, overwhelming right now. I wrote some notes here that I'm just going to kind of go off of. I wrote this today. I said, most of us are now pivoting and panicking with our creativity to find solutions that will solve our current circumstances of uncertainty. Let me say that again. A lot of us right now are pivoting and panicking with our creativity, trying to find solutions, trying to get really creative that are going to solve our current circumstances and this uncertainty. But here's the deal: a pace, when you have a pace of panic, that can drain your creativity and leave you overwhelmed with too many options, a lack of options, and or a creative block. So think about the fact that when you're operating out of a pace of panic, you're going to be thinking too many options. I don't know where to start. Man, I'm dealing with writer's block, or I just have a lack of ideas. Sometimes you have ideas, but you don't. The writer's block part can like really come into like, I don't know what to paint. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. But other people get so analysis paralysis where they're overwhelmed with too many ideas. So today I wanted to share with you about the power of operating from rest and Sabbath rest and a Sabbath mindset. Okay? This is a creative lifestyle that produces amazing ideas and inspiration that can be tapped into anywhere and anytime. Anywhere and anytime. What would it be like if you could actually have just insane creative ideas and know how to execute on them, but not feeling like there's this panic and this kind of hurried up like pace of like you're falling behind or you're not going as fast as you should be, and there's like this self-condemnation, self-talk, and there's a lot of this panic that's involved. But also what you're doing to yourself is not just you're not self-condemnation, but you're also just kind of shaming yourself that you're not doing what you should be doing up to this point. I've been there, totally. But I had to also come to an idea of what Sabbath really meant and what it means to really operate from rest. So let me kind of unpack what this actually looks like. So if you like what you're hearing, thanks. I'm glad that you're here. If you like what you're hearing, leave a comment down below. Say hi. Say where you're coming in from. But two ways that you can help support this before I get into the solutions. Share this on your feed. You can hit that little paper airplane if you're on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook, you can actually hit the share feed. Like my Facebook page, but also like the actual post, and that really helps get the word out. And my hope is just to help as many people with these weekly little doses. Now, one of the things that I want to show you is everybody does want to be able to operate in that piece and have that idea of operating and creating from a really cool place, and everything's just flowing. And that flow, I totally get and I understand is totally like the sweet spot. But that's not there all the time. In my new book, and I'm finishing it this weekend, and I'm really excited about it. But I keep talking about inspiration. That inspiration is actually conditional. And it's based on, I feel inspired, therefore I'll create. True creatives, true creatives, the serious ones, the ones that really, really want to get things done, the ones that do get things done are the ones that show up regardless of feeling and circumstances and outdoor conditions. Is it cold outside? Is it warm outside? Is there clouds in the air? Is there money in my account? Is there not money in my account? Does my room look the way that I want it to look so that I can write and create? Listen, all of that right there, let me tell you, it's conditional. And inspiration can't be the driver or the fuel of your creativity. When you do that, you're going to get into big time trouble, because when you base your creativity based on inspiration, inspiration comes and goes. So what would it be like if you were to remove the idea of inspiration being your driver and more so look at a different source of being able to get into that flow? And I'm going to show you what that flow looks like. I'm going to show you what that sweet spot looks like and the pocket of how I achieve that. And hopefully you can use that for yourself. So when it comes to Sabbath and rest and operating out of that, that panic and that pivoting is really self-conditional. It's on your own self-will. It's on your own merit. It's on your own mustering up and just fighting and battling through it. And that's when we're pushing. And that's when I found that whenever I push and whenever I try to force those things can get a little bit nuts. And my mindset is off. Like, I don't mind showing up and putting the work in, but if your mind's not straight, things can get out of whack. You can get cranky. You can get misaligned. And you feel like, you got four wheels on your car that are doing really good, but that one is out of alignment and it's wobbling and it's driving you nuts. So if you can relate to that, virtual high fives, I get it. And that can be very frustrating. But so today, I want you to look at this. For me, I'm going to give you, I'm a person of faith. It's in my background, but it's a big time driver when it comes to my creativity. And I just want to share these with you. So take what you like and leave the rest. But watch this. This is pretty unbelievable. And how I come up with ideas and how I can execute on so many ideas and how I don't get into writer's block and analysis paralysis. Take these, adopt these if you'd like. But we're talking about the word Sabbath and we're talking about rest. And here's what this looks like. I wanted to be able to come up with ideas. And people ask me all the time, how do you come up with ideas? How do you get these ideas for paintings? How do you know what books to write and topics to create and all that? It's because I'm super intentional. Watch this. Are you being super intentional about seeking quiet time to refill your cup? We talked about this in the previous episode. Are you refilling your cup so that you can pour out into other people and into other projects? So that's one. So being intentional about, hey, I want to take Sabbath time or I want to take rest time, that's one thing. But I want to go a step further because last time when I was looking at our previous episode, I was thinking, you know what? We can actually take this a little bit step further and we can really drill down onto the onto the layers of really finding those really great ideas. And I'm just going to share them with you. Take what you like, leave the rest. But let me explain Sabbath. Most of the time, people, when they hear the word Sabbath, think, oh, I'm going to take a Sunday off, or I'm going to take my time off, or I'm going to be very intentional about just having time where I'm doing nothing. That's okay. That's great. But let me show you biblically what that actually looks like. When I look at my relationship with God, when I look at my creativity, I look at creativity, one, is a gift that I've been entrusted with, that God's downloaded to me to steward, to manage. And I have to look at this gift as a superhero power. And that creativity has to be leveraged, not just for my benefit of providing for my family, taking care of my kids, and building a life. No. This gift has been entrusted as a superhero power, not just to take care and to provide, but to worship God in the entire process of that, bringing Him glory in the process of creativity. So the very act of creativity is an act of worship. The business component wrapped around creativity, vendors, customers, relationships, events, all of that is an act of worship. But second, or I should say third, is the stewardship of creativity, of that superhero power, is used to ultimately bring people to Him. Because it's not about me. When people say, great job, I'm like, killer, it's God working through these two hands, providing the insane ideas, and that's where that source comes from. So watch this. What happens when I seek Sabbath time? And this is going to get really good. Now watch, this gets really crazy good. When I seek this downtime with Him, I am, one, meeting with the ultimate entrepreneur creative. I'm meeting with the ultimate creative of all time. So number one, He's the boss of my business. He's the CEO of my business. He owns it all. This is my Father's business that I get to be a part of. So Sabbath puts me in that position to meet with my CEO and my boss. But He's the ultimate creative. He's the ultimate entrepreneur. In the beginning, God created, like, He starts out, He's a creative. He's a creative 100%. And so when I think, oh, I want to get great ideas, I don't go to self-help books. I don't go for pep rallies. I don't go to where people are just going to give me high fives and tell me, oh, you do great skill and man, the creativity and dream anything you want and just be anything you want. Listen, when I seek 100% insane creativity ideas of what I want to do with my time on this earth, I want to go meet with the dude who's got the ultimate creativity. There is nobody on this earth that's going to provide me with the wisdom of the best ideas for my books, for creativity. Listen, my friend, for you, if you are trying to come up with insane ideas, are you seeking time to get 100% quiet, to hear and dial in the radio frequency of the Holy Spirit via prayer, via His Word, to get those downloads? So that's one. But now let me take it a step further. And this is where it gets bonkers. You ready for this? So not is he just like the ultimate entrepreneur and the ultimate creative of where I get the source. Okay? But watch this. I'm going to read something out of Matthew 12. And I want you, Jesus is walking with his disciples and they're picking wheat. And watch this. At the time Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath, his disciples were hungry and they began to pick some of the grain and eat them. When the Pharisees saw this, the religious leaders that are Mr. Smart and Mr. Perfect, doing everything by the law, they said, look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath. He answered, listen, haven't you read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He entered the house of God and he and his companions ate the consecrated bread, and which is not lawful for them to do, but only for the priests. Or haven't you read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple desecrate the day and yet are innocent? I tell you that one greater than the temple is here. Hear that very clearly. I tell you that one greater than the temple is here. If you had known what these words mean, I desire mercy, not sacrifice, then you should not have condemned the innocent. For the Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath. Get ready for a reality check and a paradigm shift here. This is going to change everything when it comes to your creativity, your ideas, and how you're going to operate in your ideas. Now listen to this. Listen to this very clearly in the footnote. The Pharisees were so concerned about religious rituals that they missed the whole purpose of the temple, which is what? To bring people to God. And because Jesus Christ is even greater than the temple, how much better can he bring people to God? Here's the nugget for today. God is far more important than the created instruments of worship. If we become so concerned with the means of worship than with the one we worship, we will miss God as we think we are worshiping him. Let me say that one last time. God is far more important than the created instruments of worship. If we become more concerned with the means of worship than with the one we worship, we will miss God even as we think we are worshiping him. Here's what I'm getting at. Sabbath and true rest isn't a place. Sabbath is not a place, a time, a segment of time. Jesus, when he's walking with his disciples, is basically saying, guys, I'm the Sabbath. In me is the rest. In me is the Sabbath. I'm the rest. I'm the Sabbath. I'm it. It's not an act. It's not a time. It's I am the Sabbath. So here's what I'm getting at. When you guys want to really dial in your creativity, when you really want to get those ideas. Now watch this. This is where it gets bonkers. I'm going to go to what the web, I just searched up the word shalom, which is what you're looking for. Is the Hebrew meaning peace and harmony and wholeness and completeness, prosperity, welfare, and tranquility. And it can be used, you've heard it before, with hello and goodbye, like shalom. If you are trying to get to shalom in your creativity, in your day, in the way that you go about dealing with your circumstances, everything. If you want to achieve insane Sabbath rest, it is not a nap. It is not a vacation. It's not Bora Bora. It's none of that. It's in a mindset of immediately being in the presence of your Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ. If I want to get insane ideas, I can find ideas in the blink of an eye, anywhere, in the worst of a storm, in the worst of a pandemic, in the worst of circumstances, in the worst of the worst of the worst. Can you create in the eye of a hurricane, my friend? That is the master creative. A person that can enter shalom and Sabbath rest and operate from that rest in everything they do, because they can tap into the ultimate creator and operate from his rest. Holy smokes, this is exciting. My prayer and hope for you today on this week's episode is that you can, listen, the best part about, you can access him anywhere, anytime you want. You will not be operating from a grind. You will not be hammering. You won't be hustling it. You won't be self-made, dues paid. Do you realize that in order to have that kind of supernatural creativity and ideas, it requires tapping into the supernatural force of Jesus Christ, direct link to God the Creator, who wired the creativity into your DNA. And by the way, your spiritual DNA is 1,000,000 times more complex and creative and amazing than your physical DNA. But my guess is you're spending very little time tapping into that. So can you carve out Sabbath to go be alone and go seek quiet time and go do all those things? Absolutely. That's fun. That's great. That's good. Can you say, oh, the Sabbath is a Saturday or Sunday? Sure. But you know what? I don't want to wait that long. I don't think you do too either. It's most likely entering into that Sabbath is a mindset that you get to choose when and how often you turn it on. Listen, if God is the CEO, if you are in your Father's business, if He owns it all, if He is the ultimate investor putting you on this planet, you got to ask yourself, have you made Him a silent partner? He is pursuing you far greater than you are ever pursuing Him. He's never going to relent. He will never stop loving you, knocking on your door, beating your door down to spend time and to give you those supernatural, insane downloads of ideas. You will look for them, my friend, in all the wrong places. You will look for them from all the wrong sources. You will try to find them from places that are not, that are not producing the results ultimately that you want. Be very careful who you're following and who you're listening to. Sabbath rest is not a place. It is not a circumstance. It is not a climate. It is not an alignment of stars and all this kind. Listen, Sabbath is in a person, and that is Jesus Christ. So my hope and prayer for you today is that you would receive shalom. And I pray a blessing over you. I pray that these videos can give you life and help and encourage. And if you'd like to share this with others, leave a comment down below and let me know what was the nuggets and the takeaways from you, or from this for you? What were the nuggets and the takeaways for you in this video? Check it out on Facebook. If you need help, check out knowelias.net/book. And that is my Creative Success book bundle for creatives. And hopefully that'll provide you some tools to help you live on purpose with what you're creating. I'm super glad that you guys are here, and thanks for joining me today. We'll be back next week, and we'll be going over a couple other cool strategies as we dive a little bit deeper. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will talk to you soon. Leave a comment down below, and if you go to Facebook and you're on my Facebook page when this video goes up, it'll be going up later on today. just go ahead and hit the share link. So that'll be happening on Facebook. Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys, and talk to you soon. We'll see you later.